What's up, Mike? Tired? You got the crud?
I got the crud.
What's wrong with you? You got the sniffles? Oh.
No fever. No nothing.
You need to do a shot.
Yeah, Chris Gonzalez is bringing up something that I was going to talk about here already.
Wimpy Ganas again?
Oh, dude. Wemby last 5 games.
Wimpy Ganas? I just came out on Lowe's. Me and Jeff recorded around 8:30.
Yeah.
I think that one's going to be released sometime tomorrow. So. Yeah, thank you for joining us, Chris Gonzalez, Tony Ornelas, Bear County Social, man. Appreciate you guys joining the show. What's up, Charlie Hernandez? And Mellow 15, what's up, man? How's it going? Let's see if I have any slippery fingers today.
Welcome to another episode of the Area 2.
Oh,
whoa.
Welcome to another episode of the
Stop
Area
mid.
210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe
I was like,
Garcia.
okay.
Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your host as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Area 210 podcast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio. My name's Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We'll be doing the show for about an hour, 15, hour 30. I always say hour 15. We always go an hour 30. Just is what it is. We do have breaking news coming in today regarding your Dallas Cowboys. They have requested permission to speak to Eagles offensive coordinator and former Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. So the rumors are true. Kellen Moore, according to Adam Schefter of ESPN, who reported this just 15 minutes ago, the Cowboys are on the hunt for Kellen Moore.
I don't know, man. The Cowboy fan didn't like him as the offensive coordinator, right? Oh, he's too predictable. Then he goes, it's the ex-girlfriend going with the new boo.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking good. She's flourishing. Still kind of cute. Think I'll call her back.
Yeah.
Recall her.
Yeah, she lost 10 libs, 10 pounds.
Looking good in that black little dress.
Yeah, dressing a little bit nicer, getting the heels out. Offensive coordinators are only as good as the weapons they have in front of them, right? And the fact of the matter is that the Cowboys don't have the offensive weapons, which is why getting Genty from Boise State might be a big deal if the Cowboys got him at number 12. Get a stud running back in there. We'll get into the Cowboys talking a bit. Spurs lost last night to the Memphis Grizzlies, or was it the Vancouver Grizzlies? I couldn't tell. The jerseys were the throwbacks, the old Vancouver.
Hey, man.
It looked nice.
It looked nice.
It looked nice.
They look better than Marbach nice.
Spurs have back-to-back games, as I mentioned yesterday on Twitter before I went to bed last night. As George Strait one time saying, what a rotten day this turned out to be, because not only did the Spurs lose, the Hawks won and the Bulls lost, right?
Yeah.
Which means the Hawks pick got worse, the Bulls pick got further away from us getting it, and then the Spurs lost a game. Spurs lost 129-115. Really, it was all about the third quarter. Spurs gave up 43 points in the third quarter. 43. Outscored 78-52. This is very reminiscent of when the Spurs outscored the Lakers by like 25, 30 points in the game earlier this week.
Yeah.
Comes back around 129-115. Everyone's talking about that Ja Morant dunk over Wemby. Does that count as a poster, Joe? Does that count as a poster? Because he did get posterized big time. And you saw him mean mugging. Dude, okay. If there's one thing that I miss about Jeremy Sohan, is the fact that Jeremy Sohan is the only one on the team that is going to be petty. He's going to be the one that he's going to be the one that's going to come out and be like, not in our house, man. You know, he's, you know, he'll, you know, he got into a scraps with Dylan Brooks, you know, back in the day. He's that kind of guy.
The Dikembe Mutombo, not in my house.
Not, you know, just basically knock it off type of thing.
Yeah.
You saw Ja Morant mean mugging the entire time, and somebody needed to go and just wipe that off his effing face.
You know what you need to do?
Pop him in the face.
Just Foul
Fa-
the shit out of him. Dude.
hard foul him.
Slap him.
Sohan would have done that. So that's
Yeah.
that's when I was missing the green-haired monster yesterday in Jeremy Sohan. But the Spurs lose 129 to 115. Again, that whole thing that happened, that whole posterization of Victor Wembanyama, technically didn't count because it was a foul on the floor before that dunk even happened.
Yeah.
So, like, all these highlights are coming out on Twitter. Did you see what John Moran did to Victor Wembanyama? It happened when the game wasn't even on. So it's kind of hard to say. But last night, you saw the Spurs just wilt down the stretch. The only player that really came to play all 48 minutes was our guy, Stephon Castle, 26 points yesterday. Okay, so we need to get into Castle a little bit. It was a career high 26 points.
Yeah.
We give crap to Jeremy Sohan because he can't shoot the three. Stephon Castle yesterday shot 9 3-point attempts. Dude, don't do that. I love you. 26 points, which is a career high. Stephon Castle was competing against two players from the Grizzlies who are in contention for the Rookie of the Year, Jalen Wells and Zach Edey. Zach Edey, Jalen Wells combined for 11 points, Joe, which means that Stephon Castle not only outscored them, but outscored them combined times 2 and then some. Castle's not a three-point shooter as of yet.
No,
Right.
that he's not, man. But he does a lot of the other things that a lot of these players on this damn team can't do.
He brings the ball up the court so freaking fast. It's having 2 point guards out there. Chris Paul, Stephon Castle, you have 2 point guards out there. And that is the value that he brings onto the team. Castle is going out there and he's finding players in rhythm. He's finding people for open shots. Castle yesterday may have only had 4 assists. He should have had 9. He set up certain players, whether it be Champagny, Vassell, Barnes, or Wemby. He set them up for success, and they just didn't knock down the shot. It could have been a Castle game where he was 26 points, 9 and 10 assists if his teammates had made buckets. But Castle going out there and shooting the ball 9 times from beyond the arc was not a good thing. Okay? Now, here's the thing about it. Sohan has a bad-looking shot. There's an ugly hitch to it. And we're going to get to our YouTube stream, by the way, our comments coming in. We see Caps 210, Tavarius, Hand Over Fist, Drew Show, all that. We're gonna get you in a moment, but let me get something off my chest here. Sohan has a broken shot. He has a hitch. It goes to the left.
He's Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yes,
The
just
dance.
the way that Elaine dances. It's
Yeah.
just ugly. Castle doesn't have that hitch. Castle has a regular shooting motion, right?
Yeah.
The problem with Castle, it's all between the ears. He has no confidence when he shoots the three. And you can tell because at any other shot out there, whether it be a 15-footer, driving into the lane, a layup, a dunk, or whatever, there's no hesitation at all in anything that he does. But when he gets the ball from beyond the arc, and they're letting him shoot, man, they're giving him the Sohan treatment. Sohan has a 28% three-point shooting accuracy.
Yeah.
They're letting him shoot. They're letting Castle shoot.
They're telling them, show me.
Yeah, and you know what Castle's doing? He's not shooting it in rhythm. There's no stride to it. He catches it, and it's almost treated as though it's a free throw. You know when you get the ball from the referee from the free throw line, take a couple of dribbles, you look up, and then you shoot. It's a free throw.
Yeah.
They're giving him the ball from the three. They're letting him shoot. And as opposed to shooting in rhythm, he hesitates. It's like a half-second pause. And then he launches. And then when he launches, he leaves his hand out half the time as though he's trying to guide it. It looks like when he shoots a three-pointer, Joe, it's like me whenever I'm bowling. I'm trying to want the ball to go to the right. I want it to go to the left. And I'm trying to hand gesture it in. There is no confidence in his three-point shot. None whatsoever. But Castle did shoot 9 of 21, which isn't terrible. It's not good, but not terrible. Career high 26 points, had 4 assists out there, 3 rebounds. Could have had a lot more, but Spurs lose 129-115, give up 43 points in the third quarter. Victor Wembanyama, we got to talk about Wemby. Just 13 points.
He was good, was it, in the first half, right? He had like 10 blocks or something like that.
8 blocks in the first half.
And what happened in the second half? They kind of fell off. And then what happened? Wimpy Ghana showed up
Yeah, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 8 blocks. He had a 9th block, but then they took it away from him late in the third, early part of the fourth quarter. It's like they gave it to him and then they took it away. I guess they reviewed it. Wemby is having some issues the last 5 games or so. He had a good game against the Lakers where he had 23 points. But aside from that, if you look at the last 5 games, 20 points against Denver, 23 against Chicago, 10 against Milwaukee, 23 against the Lakers, 13 against Grizzlies. He's basically averaging about 18 points per game the last 5 games. When for the season, he's averaging a much higher than that. He's averaging for the season nearly 25. So he was at 25 points per game going into this 5-game stretch, and he's just not bringing it. Now, his rebounds are up. That was the thing. Before the 5-game stretch, he was averaging just under 10 per game, like 9.8.
Yeah.
Last 5 games, 23, 14, 10, 8, 12. So basically averaging about 13 rebounds. So he's gone from a 25.9 rebound kind of guy to an 18.13 rebound kind of guy. And his blocks have gone significantly higher. So let's talk about that, because the last 5 games in blocks, 4, 8, 3, 2, 8. That's 16, 20, 25, 5 blocks per game. Maybe this is the effect of Sochan not being out there.
Or maybe he's just trying to get that Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah. I mean, it's rebounds and blocks go a long way to it all.
Yeah.
Typically when Sochan misses games, Wemby just goes off shooting-wise. And what's been going on right now is maybe they're just playing him a little bit more defensively. You knew it was going to be a shaky game for Wemby 1 second into the game. Joe, was that an all-time record for quickest foul ever in an NBA game? They called a foul on Victor Wembanyama 1 second into the game, and he was doing a jump ball. And Sean Elliott got pissed off during the telecast. He and Jacob Toby doing the show on Bally Sports. But it was a foul. And what ended up happening was Wemby did it again in the third quarter. And maybe this is kind of a hitch that he has in his game that we didn't understand. So basically what he's doing is when he goes for a jump ball, most people just jump straight up and tap it to whatever direction they want to go in, right? Now, he likes to jump in with his left. He likes to go left. Well, what he does is that when he goes left, he uses his right hand as leverage and climbs over the player that he's with and leverages out.
Why would he need to do that? You're 7'3",
You're 7'4",
man. Like, come on.
But
dude.
yesterday he needed to do that because he went up against Zach Edey, who's the exact same height, 7'4".
But he's just a bigger body.
Bigger body. So he did it one time where he hooked his arm into Edey to do it. They called the foul. It happened again in the third quarter, but they didn't call it that time. But the replay showed that he did it again. It's kind of a weird thing to do. Why does he need to do that? Just jump straight up, dude. You're 7'3".
He's lighter than Edey, man. Come on.
You don't need to like hook your way in.
No.
So kind of interesting. I watched last night's game after everyone else did because I did one of those things where I recorded the game.
Yeah.
And I made sure to stay off Twitter, stay off ESPN. Don't answer any friends' text messages because I didn't want to hear anything about the game. I wanted to be surprised. By the time I turned the game on, there was like maybe 2 or 3 minutes to go in the game, like in real time. I zoomed through it. I mean, I did watch it all 48 minutes, but I was officiating high school basketball yesterday at Taft High School. Taft against Marshall JV. Taft ended up winning that game. So, any good comments coming in right now?
No, they just said,
Our chat, by the way, powered by MCS General Contracting.
They had a good comment here. It says, Tony Ornelas says, it's terrible that we expect Wemby to score 40 points, 10 blocks, 12 rebounds. I think Wemby is still conditioning from being in the France League, only a sophomore in the NBA, but he is, for all intents and purposes, the San Antonio Spurs superstar on this team. An NBA superstar. Right?
Yes, he is.
And he's soon to be an NBA All-Star.
Also coming off the Olympics as well.
Yeah.
It's not that his stats are bad, okay? Because if I was to tell you that we have a guy averaging the last 5 games, 18 points, 13 rebounds, 5 blocks, and, 4 assists, that's not a bad stat line.
Look at this. We got a new viewer here. Good Cheetah watching this on YouTube says,
hey, is that a new name?
New name, dude. I saw
it on Good Cheetah.
Yeah, and he says, Wemby has a low motor, and the threes play a huge part in that.
You know, his motor seems to be revved up higher on the defensive end of the ball. Like on defense, he's all over the place.
Yeah.
Offensively, he was getting kind of stagnant out there. We're seeing the Spurs play inconsistent ball. What are they, Joe? They are a 500 team.
You're only as good as your record says you are.
They went into the game at 19-19, and guess what they are? They're basically a 500 team, and they're going to play them again.
Yeah.
You know, the Spurs play again the Grizzlies on Friday. I'll tell you this, Spurs are going to win one of those games. Because why? The Spurs are a 500 team.
You think they're going to wind up beating the Memphis Grizzlies again?
Yeah, well,
at least once.
At least once, yeah.
Lost.
I think so. The Spurs were up in the third quarter. And what they did against the Lakers was they put their neck, they stepped on their neck, stepped on their throat, didn't let them back up. The third quarter, the Spurs looked, I don't want to use the word lazy, because I don't think that's what it was.
No.
They looked tired.
Maybe. I mean, you're getting at the halfway mark of the season. It's going to be coming up here within the next 1 or 2 games here.
Yeah.
82 game season. You're almost there. You're almost halfway there. Players are going to start getting tired, because why? We're getting closer and closer to the NBA All-Star break, and that's a bona fide halfway mark of the season, but you're already like more than 3/4 of the way through the season at that point.
Well, part of it is this, and I don't know if you've noticed this about what Mitch Johnson's doing as interim head coach of the Spurs. He's tightened the lineup up.
He needs to.
Because here are the players that did not play yesterday.
DNPs.
It's half the screen. Sidi Sissoko, Blake Wesley, Malachi Branham, David Duke, Mamu, Zach Collins. $18 million sitting on the bench. Zach Collins. He played only 9 players.
And what are the rest of those players? What is their name going to be next season?
All of them gone.
Gone.
All of them gone. He played just 9 players. Look at the minutes that he had for the starters. Barnes 30, which is fine. Wemby 37, Castle 33, Vassell 34, Paul 35. He is condensing this lineup, and the Spurs just got tired. It just is what it is. You have a 39-year-old point guard. Remember, everyone all excited, Joe? Chris Paul a couple of games ago turned the clock back. Everyone's like, he's a great. And what did I tell you, Joe? It's like me with drinking. I can party and drink like an all-star, like when we're going to do this next Saturday over at the Hidden Tavern.
Only if it's mixed drinks, like, Diet and Jack and
Right.
Coke, something like that. Diet Coke and Jack Daniels, a whiskey. Can't give you any beer. The beer just fills you up.
It does. But I can party like an all-star.
Yeah, you can drink some whiskey.
I can go to Vegas,
Yeah.
have a grand old time, karaoke, party, all that stuff. Be a social butterfly, right? You try to have me do that the next day, ain't going to happen. And that's the Chris Paul that we have right now as point guard of the Spurs. He will have one game where he is point god, where he is an all-time great. It's going to get you 14, 15 points and 10 assists. He's going to look amazing. Then he's going to have one game, Joe, where he's what he did yesterday, 8 points, 5 assists. Why is that? It's because he's old. And it just is what it is. Harrison Barnes had 10 points. Wemby just 13. Devin Vassell, 21 points. What I liked about Vassell's play yesterday is that Vassell shot just 13 times. He was 7 for 13, knocked down 3 of 6 threes. He had 5 3-pointers against the Lakers. So he's had 8 3-pointers last 2 games. Starting to turn it up. But yesterday, there was a couple of plays where he drove in, Alpha Devin, and then you know what he did? He didn't take the shot. He came back out and kicked it out. And that was like, it was almost like he told himself in that play, this wasn't for me. They're going to get mad if I keep shooting the ball too much. Play within yourself. Speaking of playing within themselves, the only play, you know who the MVP of this month has been?
Don't say it, dude.
Keldon Johnson. Dude, why is it just when we start to hate Keldon? And I don't want him anymore.
Yeah.
He suddenly starts balling out. Keldon's been playing good. Yeah, yesterday, 6 of 12.
He's all right. But what's going to happen, man? You already know, Mike. I mean, he's been playing all right.
17
right
points yesterday. Here's his last 5 games. Just when we were like, we're done with him. Last 5 games, 10, 11, 24, 10, and 17, Joe.
Keldon's the Kia Sorrento that found second life, bro. Put a new battery in it.
Dude, he's averaging about 14 points per game the last 5 games, right?
Oh.
Look at his shooting accuracy, Joe. 38, 50, 47, 67, 50. So basically he's shooting around 55% the last 5 games. I mean, we want some fire, we want some energy, and there it is right there. Spurs have lost 4 out of 5 games, though. Now under 500 for the first time in a while. Drew Show reaches out and says, is Mike's constant dragon of Chris Paul in his age because he wants or thought that Fox was going to be on this team? I mean, who else do you want at point guard right now? What in the F? We play who we play. But the thing is that all the people come out and say, hey, Michael, remember that time you said he punted? They're going to say that we'd be punted. Where are they at, Joe? When Chris Paul looks like his age at 39, Joe, and he's 30 and getting 8 points and 5 assists, where are all those people at? Where are they at?
I'm still here, Sohan.
I'm still here, Chris Paul. I enjoy him being on the team. He's like an assistant coach on the team. He brings fire. Spurs would never have won against the Lakers without him and his fire, the trash talk that he was doing in the second quarter of that game.
Keldon Johnson, man, he's that Kia Sorrento, man. That's all I'm telling you. It's a backup car that sits in the driveway. You use it once in a while. It's reliable at times, you know. Your main car goes down. You need something in a pinch.
Yeah.
Get in the next car. Your old car, you turn it on.
Is it Monte Carlo?
Is
it Monte Carlo?
Yeah, it gets you to point A to point B. I mean, it gets you there, but it doesn't mean that it's always going to start.
Yeah. Mario Cavazza says this, at this point in his career, CP3, his play is like a pitcher on day's rotation, shows up ball in every 4 to 5 games. That's funny, dude. That's funny. Who says Keldon's the pulse of this team? Mario. Chris Gonzalez says KJ is a good bench player. He does his job. He has irrational confidence, Keldon Johnson. That's sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and show this because I saw this already, and it is a thing.
Oh,
man.
No.
They got the GOAT, man. They got the GOAT. There he is, Mr. Baseball.
Bob Uecker, dead at the age of, what is that? 91?
Yeah.
90?
90.
Okay, so let's go on and talk about Bob Uecker. We all know him from the movies Major League 2, all the Major League movies.
Mr. Belvedere.
Dude, he wasn't Mr. Belvedere.
If you know, you know. That's we're showing our age, but you remember he was a Mr. Belvedere, dude.
Stains on the china, never met her before. Who cares? Why do I know this song?
What was the name of the kid? Wesley.
Wesley.
Okay,
so Bob Uecker was the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers for many, many years. Mr. Belvedere. He also did the Major League movies. We all know the iconic lines. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. You know, great lines from the movie Major League. That movie, Major League, by the way, which was about the Cleveland Indians baseball team, was not filmed in Cleveland. It was filmed in Milwaukee. So he was doing those lines from the actual stadium that he worked at. He was home doing this game, doing this movie. I'm going to look up the best lines of Major League ever. Right now. Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway. you can't cuss on air. Don't worry, no one's listening anyway. One hit, that's all we got. One damn it hit. The postgame is brought to you by, the hell with it. I can't find it.
Tony Ornelas is remembering too. He was the dad on Mr. Belvedere.
That's right. Some great lines, man. Haywood leads the league in most offensive categories, including most hair. When this guy sneezes, he looks like a party favor. Doesn't he say that Haywood was somebody accused of domestic assault? And they said, well, we have no record of that. Well, he looks like it. One of my favorite lines was when right before the playoff game is getting going, the crowd's getting amped up, and he goes, "Monty, anything to add?" No. Well, he's not the best colored man in the league for nothing, folks. And he goes on.
Hey, look, there he is, Mr. Belvedere, right there.
Kyrie, I don't. I mean, I watched that show growing up.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was about a family that had a butler for some reason.
Yeah.
Why they had a butler? How did they afford a butler?
I don't know. You got to watch the sitcom back in the 80s. It didn't make any sense, but nobody gave a shit, dude.
That was kind of a thing back in the day because at the same time, you had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Why did they need a butler? Why did they need Jeffrey? Were Jeffrey and Mr. Belvedere really needed? I mean, you go back to the Jeffersons. Didn't the Jeffersons have a maid?
Yeah.
What was her name? I know the actress
Florence.
was Florence.
Flo. And you remember he used to call his wife Wheezy?
Wheezy. This is a great poll question, by the way. Poll question, because didn't the Brady Bunch also have, like, how the hell did they afford a maid?
Alice the maid.
How did they afford a maid with 6 kids?
Hey, the dad was an architect or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Pulling in bank.
One of those. I love the whole comedian who comes out and says that architecture's bull, because he goes, how many architects do you really know? Because you could go your entire life and never meet an architect, but apparently it's like a thing in movies. Oh, he's an architect. It was like, how many are there, right? But Mr. Belvedere was an interesting show back in the day. I watched a new show yesterday, Joe. We'll talk about Bob Uecker in a second.
Yeah.
My goodness. Tim Allen has a new show on ABC called Spare Parts.
I don't know if it's Spare Parts. What is it called?
It's called Spare Parts. Tim Allen is in that show. It's with also the that girl from Two Broke Girls.
Shifting Gears. That's the name of the
show.
show.
There you go.
Shifting Gears.
There you go.
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings is in there. Also Sean William Scott from the American Pie movies, who's also in Role Models and Goon and all that stuff. That's the reason why I wanted to watch that show, Joe. And I saw the first episode yesterday. 2 episodes are now out. It's on Hulu right now. It's called Shifting Gears. And basically it's about Tim Allen. He's basically the same character from Home Improvement, man. But instead of him having a TV show with a garage, he's like he renovates, cars. Yeah. Right? He renovates cars, hot rods, and things like that, right? Muscle cars. His estranged daughter comes back into his life and brings the grandkids because she's going through a divorce and all that stuff.
I got nowhere else to go.
Exactly. And they're trying to, the mother has passed away years ago, and they're trying to mend fences. And then you've got Sean William Scott, who works at the garage with Tim Allen, who is insinuated in the first episode that he had the hots for Kat Dennings' character the entire time.
Yeah.
Right. That's the basis of the show. I watched the first episode yesterday. It's worth a second watch.
No,
what it reminds me of? Bad, meaningless TV of the 90s. There is no meat on any of that.
One case in point, that series Wings.
Wings was a great with Tim Daly.
Yeah.
That was a good show. That
had some good actors.
That small little airport in Nantucket.
Yeah, Nantucket.
That was a good show. There was some mindless TV back in the day.
Frasier.
Frasier, I guess there was not that much thought in that either, right? Is Niles going to finally bang Daphne? That was like the big thing, right? But then you go on into like the 2000s, things got serious, Joe. It was Breaking Bad. It was The Sopranos. It was The Wire. It was all of that, Joe. And it had to be serious. It was kind of like 90s music when it got all dark, when it went from like 80s glam rock to like grunge and post-grunge and new metal and stuff like that. I rather enjoyed watching mindless TV. Let me give you an example of one, Joe, from the last 5 or 6 years. Been showing this to my girlfriend Francesca for the last couple of weeks.
Which one?
Superstore.
Oh yeah, I remember that one's
on Hulu.
A parody on Walmart.
Yeah. That's such a great show. Sith Elias coming out and saying Kat Dennings ultimate baddie. Back in the day, yes. Back in the day would have been like a 2 or 3 seed back in the day. Not so much anymore.
Mario Cavazos. Tony Maselli, who's the boss?
Dude, that's mindless TV, man. Tony Maselli, One of my favorite things about Who's the Boss was back in the day. I saw this TikTok where they were saying that Tony Maselli was a dick because if you watch the beginning of the show, the opening credits, he's rounding third and he does a really, really dangerous slide into home base. And they were saying he's a dick move that if anybody had done that dive in a men's league, softball league, that he would have gotten his ass kicked. Because he was like way up in the air for that dive. It was so dramatic. Beavis and Butthead was mindless. There were a lot of mindless shows. So I watched that new show, Shifting Gears. And then there's another show going on right now called Going Dutch. Also on Hulu. I think that's on Fox. And Going Dutch stars Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
Dennis Leary, that comedian's been around for a long, long time, right? But it also stars the guy who played Abed on Community.
Oh, okay.
And those are the two main characters of the show. Going Dutch, I liked the first episode. I told my daughter Gabby that I liked it. It's basically about a guy who is high up in the military, who thinks he's going to be commander of a really serious, the serious base that's up against up against Russia, and you got to be on guard and all that stuff. But really, he gets demoted in the first 5 minutes of the show. He gets demoted to running a base in the Netherlands.
No, God.
So Garrett, if you're listening, it's out there in the Netherlands. And basically every person in the army that's over there has gone soft because there's nothing serious going on over there. And now he's basically trying to command a bunch of soft soldiers. It was all right, dude. I'm going to give it one more try. I've seen 2 episodes of that. We went to pop culture real fast after the Spurs, man. Spurs lose a game. And we're like, do we really want to talk about this?
Yeah, it's because of the late Bob Uecker.
Yeah,
man.
so let's go on to Bob Uecker, man. Bob Uecker, when you think of Bob Uecker, do you think of Major League? Do you think of Mr. Belvedere? Or do you think of the fact that he's probably, I'm going to go ahead and assume that he's a Hall of Famer when it comes to radio broadcasting?
He has to be, man. Guy had a hell of a voice, man.
The voice was great. But I will say that his baseball delivery was really good. I know that we have Vin Scully and all that stuff.
Yeah.
People give a shit about Vin Scully because he did the Dodgers, right? People give a crap about other ones.
He's in a big market.
Milwaukee, you're like, okay, Bob Uecker, really? We're going to get excited about Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker was a Major League Baseball player. Played for the Milwaukee Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Philadelphia Phillies, and the Atlanta Braves. So he was a Major League Baseball player for 5 seasons. Batted 200 for his career. 14 dingers, Joe. He had 14 home runs. Had 74 RBI in his career. Became a broadcaster back in 1971 in Atlanta.
Damn.
Started calling play-by-play for the Brewers around that time. He was the broadcaster for the Brewers for 54 seasons.
Jeez, bro.
Wow.
That's the Iron Man right there, man. That's 54 seasons, dude.
It's the second longest run in baseball history. The Kansas City Royals, Denny Matthews has been their play-by-play guy since 1969.
Wow, dude.
And it's still currently in.
That's a hell of a time, dude. Damn.
He also was a sports talk show host. And he did game shows and things like that. He was a wrestling announcer for WWF.
Damn.
He was he appeared in the WrestleMania 3 in Pontiac, Michigan as a ring announcer. He was also the play-by-play announcer for the main event, which was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. So for those of you who are wrestling nerds, he's got some bona fides. He made 100 appearances on the Johnny Carson show.
Damn.
The guy was a legend. Hosted Saturday Night Live back in 1984. Oh, dude, he was also the Miller Lite commercials. Remember that? The Miller Lite All-Stars?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, dude.
I'm
I'm going
to see if I can get his part here.
Bob Uecker has just been around forever. He played a sports writer named George Owens in the TV show Mr. Belvedere.
Let's see if we can get his clip here, dude.
How could they lay off pitches so
There he is.
close?
Just a bit outside.
Dude, he was so good, man. He passed away at the age of 90. Had 4 children. 2 of his kids passed away before he did.
Man.
At the time, he divorced in 2001. Says that he was going to miss. He had heart surgery back in 2010, and he died of lung cancer at the age of 90. Diagnosed with lung cancer back in 2023. Rest in peace, Bob Uecker. You are a legend, TV legend, TV personality legend, and sports legend. I mean, when you think about it, the movie Major League is arguably the greatest baseball movie of all time. It may not be the most serious, but sure as hell entertaining.
I can never get over 2 parts in this film. The one part is every time we win, we take off a piece, right?
Oh yeah.
To get him motivated to win. The second one, Wesley Snipes' character showing up to practice, and that freaking
I got cut already.
No, he was showing up to practice in a freaking Volkswagen that made it look like a Rolls Royce. You remember that car?
Yeah,
that had me laughing, dude.
Bob Uecker was inducted into the Hall of Fame back in 2003. Very, very nice. Let's talk about the Cowboys.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So before the show started, as the show was starting, Adam Schefter of ESPN reported that the Dallas Cowboys have requested permission from the Philadelphia Eagles to interview Kellen Moore. So they know who Kellen Moore is because Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys for a handful of seasons, got the best out of Dak Prescott. Kellen Moore was forced upon Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, when he was hired as the Cowboys head coach, was told, you can come in, but Kellen Moore is your guy at offensive coordinator. He went on and worked with Justin Herbert with the LA Chargers, then made his way over to the Eagles. And the Eagles have had a really good record this season, still in the playoffs right now because, not only do they have Jalen Hurts, but they also have A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, a lot of good pieces over there in Philadelphia. So he has shown himself to be a very capable guy as an offensive mind. If the Cowboys go off and get Kellen Moore, it signals to me one thing, that they're going to be offensive minded in the draft. And we all talk about what they need out there. Ashton Genty, the running back for Boise State Broncos, who had a record season, was one of the runners up for the Heisman Trophy. If they get Kellen Moore, the Cowboys better move up in the draft. They're at number 12. They better give up a 4th rounder to move up to 8 or 9 to get Ashton Genty. Because if you see Kellen Moore out there, who is he playing with right now?
Eagles.
Saquon.
Yeah.
You see what he's able to do with Saquon and Jalen Hurts. You give Dak Prescott an Ashton Genty in the backfield as opposed to Rico Dowdle, as opposed to a washed-up Zeke Elliott, who they got rid of anyway at the end of the season, a washed-up Dalvin Cook. You give Dak Kellen Moore, Ashton Genty. You give Cowboy fans hope.
Give them hope, but the problem is you can take the team, right? See, they play well under Kellen Moore. They don't have as many injuries as they did in the prior season.
Right.
They get to the wild card game again. What are the chances you're giving them of moving on? Are they going to fold like always?
Mm-hmm.
That's the big question mark. As a coach, you can do anything you can to ensure that your team has a good season. Give them a fighting chance, right? Either you make the wild card or you're going to go ahead and get, a bye or something like that, right? If your record's good enough. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys going to Cowboys. They haven't shown that they can win the big game. And maybe a change of coach could help. Maybe.
Yeah.
Getting some weapons on offense can help.
Kellen Moore is just 36 years old.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while. Think about it. 36 years old. Guess where he went to college, Joe?
Where?
He went to Boise State.
Okay.
Ashton Genty, Boise State. Do you see where I'm going with this?
They're united.
Hey, I know what you're talking about. I remember the blue turf, right? He played for the Lions for a few seasons, played for the Cowboys for a few seasons. He held the clipboard, made some money that way, was brought in as a quarterbacks coach for the Cowboys in 2018, was offensive coordinator from 19 to 2022. Think about that. They had him as offensive coordinator at the age of 31. You know Jerry loves him. LA Chargers took him as offensive coordinator for one season, worked for Justin Herbert, goes off one season with the Eagles as the OC. This is a guy that understands offenses. Does he understand how to run a whole team? Can he command a locker room knowing that he's the same age as a lot of the players out there? This is very similar to Mitch Johnson with the Spurs, being in his 30s, right? Trying to take over this team.
Yeah.
Chris Paul's older than him.
That's true.
I know a lot of Cowboy fans are upset about this. And they're like, okay, well, they're going to do this because he knows that Jerry Jones would still be in control of the team. He would not have to give up control, power, or anything like that. But this is not a bad play for the Cowboys.
I don't know, man.
It really isn't, Joe.
Only time will tell. You see, the thing is, it doesn't matter who they bring in as coach, whatever, they bring in other players. I don't believe in this team anymore, man. I mean, it's been, 28 something years, maybe more than that already.
Yeah.
My son, he's 28 years old. All he's ever known his whole life, Cowboys losing.
Right. I mean, yeah, you have to be 35 years old to remember a Super Bowl win. Tony now says, I don't know about bringing back the ex-wife, Mike. Here's the thing about Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore outgrew his position there with the Cowboys. Kellen Moore was not a failure with the Cowboys at all. He wasn't. Kellen Moore helped make Dak Prescott an MVP candidate. He goes off to the Chargers, does a pretty decent job with the Chargers. You know what he's doing with the Eagles. I mean, what more do you want? He's somebody who knows Dallas. He knows Jerry Jones. Look at what he did with the Eagles this year. You give him some talent. You give him Saquon Barkley. Why not? Who's the best running back that Kellen Moore ever had to play with when it came to the Cowboys? Tony Pollard?
Pollard, he was here for Zeke.
But you give him a good running game. The problem with Kellen Moore, and we're looking at this right now with Dan Campbell with the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell, what did I say yesterday or the day before about Dan Campbell? He not only goes for a lot of risks, but he's sometimes too risky, like risky to a fault. 4th and 3, screw it, let's go for it, right? Mathematically, it's the right thing to do, but it's just one of those things where conventional wisdom tells you, just punt the damn ball or go for the field goal.
Go for the 3 points.
Don't take points off the board. We've been taught this to be conservative coaching for so long. We saw who was the head coach for the Texans that I hated? Bill O'Brien.
Oh God, he was a dumbass.
Just a complete P word, man. Just had no balls.
He put that freaking franchise in the ground, dude.
Yeah. No balls. But you have people like Dan Campbell who go for it. Kellen Moore is the same way, man. Kellen Moore will call a play that you might look at yourself and go, what in the hell are you doing? That's too aggressive. But would you rather the team be too aggressive? Or would you rather them be more too conservative?
No, I'd rather them be aggressive. You know what? Go out there, have some aggressive play calling. Have some balls out there, dude.
Right.
You
Okay.
know?
So here we go. This is my
Windhorse.
My Brian Windhorse.
I got to be able to. You know what? The thing is, you can't do Brian Windhorse because you fit in your box.
That's true. Hey, I've lost 4 of the 8 pounds that I gained during the Thanksgiving to New Year's Day run up.
Yeah.
He's from Boise State. Cowboys need a running back. Ashton Genty's there. We've seen what Kellen Moore has done with Saquon Barkley. I believe that if they get Kellen Moore, the Cowboys will actually move up in the draft to get Ashton Genty.
Maybe.
And if that happens, Joe, you are a Cowboy fan. You are a disgruntled Cowboys fan. Admit it, Joe. Right now, you're flatlined, right? Right now, if they hooked your Cowboys fandom up to one of those machines at the hospital,
I got no pulse.
I mean, beep.
No pulse.
Okay, but you add Cowboys draft Genty, stud running back. I mean, who put up numbers that rivaled Christian McCaffrey in college. And then you add a Kellen Moore offense. Is there at least a little beep?
No, I'd be like this. You're down for the count, right? On the WWE. 1, 2. Whoa.
That is funny. Hey, speaking of WWE, that video that came out yesterday, and our good friend Chris Leha from MCS General Contracting showed it yesterday, of what happened at I think it was at the Galleria in Houston. Did you see that wrestling stuff that was going on over there?
No, I didn't, dude.
Okay. You know what? Here it is.
Let's see.
What is it called back in the day when you would have those spontaneous things that it appeared as though it was spontaneous? It was like flash mob or whatever they would call it.
Oh yeah, the flash mob dancing and all that.
Yeah. So this happened at apparently the Galleria.
Oh, I saw that. These guys, they've been doing it on social media for quite some time.
Hey, that's my girl.
That's my girl.
This is all staged. These guys have been doing this forever, dude. They they do this they used to do this in Walmarts, right? In the middle of a Walmart or a Target,
Yeah.
They're good at what they do. It's fun.
My favorite part is over here. Couldn't pick them up, so I'll just kneel them instead.
It's you don't like thickums right there, Mike?
Not really, dude. That's a little too thick, dude.
Come on.
That's about 15 pounds too heavy.
She's obese.
She is.
Oh, Mike.
And then this dude right here just watching. That didn't even connect. That was like The Godfather 2 when James Caan didn't connect. My favorite part. Here's my other favorite part right here. Whee! Can you imagine just going to Ingram Park Mall, as Chris Leha said, and just seeing that crap?
I'd be like, all right, I'm a little bit entertained.
Mario Cavazos reaches out to us on our YouTube stream and says, Mike, what are your feelings if the Saints were to hire Mike McCarthy? Mike McCarthy, by the way, is like the pretty girl, dude. It's like that one sketch that I see, Javier and Eva, I think is their name. I love them on YouTube and on Instagram and Facebook, where he kicks that girl out of the car and says, you get to see what life is like, man. Kicks her out of the car. She takes 4 or 5 steps, and another car rolls up and goes, hey, girl, you need a ride? She's like, yeah. And he's like, the other guy's like, get back in my car. Get back in my car. That's Mike McCarthy. You let go of Mike McCarthy, guess what? You're going to find that other people are going to find that person attractive. There was a meme that came out the other day, and I retweeted it this morning, talking about the fact that it's very possible that Mike McCarthy just needs to have a better publicist. This is what I saw online. It says, if you compare Mike McCarthy, if you can show my screen, Mike McCarthy to Mike Tomlin of the Steelers, everyone believes that Tomlin's one of the greatest coaches of all time, right? Because they've had 18 winning seasons in a row, right? But if you compare them, they both coach 18 seasons. They've both made the playoffs 12 times. They've both won a ring. I think the Steelers went twice as opposed to just once. But they both have a ring. And their playoff records are pretty similar. 11-11 for McCarthy, 8-11 for Tomlin. They've both won division titles, 8 for McCarthy, 7 for Tomlin. But somehow Tomlin's like an all-time great coach, and McCarthy is just mid.
It's probably because he's been with the Cowboys and his debacle that they had over there with Green Bay and falling out with Aaron Rodgers. You know? Aaron Rodgers is really the reason that McCarthy, they gave him the boot, dude.
Dude, Matt Gomez, where did you get this? I've heard the bigger the panza, the better the chanza. I have never heard the bigger the fupa, the better the chalupa.
You know what? If Francesca was watching this, she'd be like, I'm out. She'd turn it off immediately.
Dude,
Mike.
What's going on, man? What's going on? I had never heard of that before.
Oh, now you have. Put it on his shirt.
Oh my goodness.
Wear that at the next party that we had.
Yeah.
The the karaoke party.
Mm-hmm. So asking the question about would I be happy if Mike McCarthy went to the Saints? Mike McCarthy's already interviewed with the Bears. He's going off and interviewing with the Saints. He knows he can go to any one of those teams, Joe, and say, I'm moving in right now. I'm moving in right now. He doesn't have to go through this whole long drawn process of, well, I hope the Bears want me. I hope the Saints want me. He gets to call the shots. Now, they're going to have to interview people and do the Rooney Rule and all that stuff. But the fact of the matter is that he's going to call his shot as to where he wants to go. Would I be happy if he goes to the Saints? Yes, I would. Because the Saints have had crappy coaches. And at least I know we got a good one if we get Mike McCarthy. I will never say that Mike McCarthy's elite. I will never say that he's north of I. He's a good coach. The fact of the matter is there's certain franchises out there that you're not going to win with. You're not going to win with the Cleveland Browns. You're not going to win with the New York Jets.
Why not with the Cleveland Browns?
Dysfunctional front offices. There is no leadership, dysfunctional front offices, and that's why teams like the Jets suck. Sam Darnold goes away from them, suddenly becomes a hot quarterback, right? You know, Baker Mayfield leaves Cleveland, suddenly becomes a Pro Bowl quarterback. Dysfunctional franchises. You put Mike McCarthy on a team like Chicago, you put him on a team like the Saints, you put him on a team like the Raiders, guess what? He's going to have success.
Yeah.
Not going to say he's going to win Super Bowls, but he's going to lead teams to 12, 13 win seasons. That's just what he does.
Yeah, you also had some breaking news here, too. Just got this in.
Yeah.
Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh said Wednesday that he will have a cardiac albination this offseason and hip replacement surgery.
Who's this again?
Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh. Interesting. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I mean, hip replacement surgery. Have you seen the videos of that, dude?
Yeah.
That's brutal, bro.
Adam Schefter reporting on ESPN right now that the NFL and federal law enforcement will increase security for Super Bowl 59. Is it 59 already? In New Orleans in response to the New Year's Day terrorist attack that happened on Bourbon Street that killed 14 people.
As they should, man. I mean, nowadays when you have big gatherings like this or big sporting events, I think everybody should be on guard now. They should have increased security, to keep everybody safe there. I mean, it's the times that we live in now, Mike, unfortunately.
Yeah. We have Tony Ornelas on our YouTube stream saying that McCarthy's not that amazing. Didn't say he was amazing. I said he was good.
He's all right.
No, he's north of I. He's north of I. He's good. He's good. Not great. He's not. Okay, if there are, 32 teams in the NFL, and we're talking about, where does he rank among coaches of the 32? It's around 9 or 10.
This is a great stat here. I just saw this on Bleacher Report, Gridiron on the X. Look at what they have here. Dan Campbell has seen it all in Detroit as a player. 0-16 as a player. As a coach, 15-2.
Can you imagine the lives that we would all live if Dan Campbell was our personal coach?
God.
Was like our personal hype man? Dan, you want to run through a wall for Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is the reason why they're successful. He's also going to be the reason why they don't win a Super Bowl this year. It's not going to be because Jahmyr Gibbs fumbles the ball or Jared Goff throws an interception. Mark my words. They're going to not make the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl because of something that Dan Campbell does. Bad clock management. Too aggressive. Something like that's going to happen. And that's the thing about Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's kind of like, you're waiting for it to explode in your face, right? It's kind of like that Jack in the Box. Joe, not the restaurant, but the actual Jack in the Box.
Oh,
watching
God.
Dan Campbell coach is like, they keep on winning all of these games, and pop goes the weasel. He's gonna do something stupid. The problem is that the song's been playing for
wind up.
It's been winding up for 18 games by now, right? And then all of a sudden, just when you think, man, this is the team, they're actually gonna do it, pop, It's going to be like, oh, he did something stupid. He went for on 4th and 3 at their own 38-yard line for no
The
reason.
Lions are on life support right now because they've been decimated by injury.
But they've gotten a little bit healthier the last couple of
They've
weeks.
gotten a little bit healthier, but the problem is, man, as you go deeper and deeper and deeper into these playoff runs, let's see what happens, man. If they can stay healthy, if they can stay healthy, I give them a good chance going into the Super Bowl. It's not like I'm a Lions hater. Like, I hate the Lions. I want them to flourish, but I'm just saying, I think the team is only going to go as far as how healthy they're going to be.
Yeah.
You know,
we had somebody reach out earlier talking about the Cowboys. I talked about Ashton Genty potentially going to the Cowboys because some mock drafts have him falling to 12 where the Cowboys are. Others say that maybe the Bengals around 10 would take him. Do you believe that you need to have the offensive line in place first to be good at that? Would you rather have an elite offensive line with mediocre offensive talent behind them, the position players, or would you rather have an average offensive line with stellar position players? Because to be honest with you, the way I look at it, I'd rather have an average offensive line and have stellar players behind me. I would rather have a healthy Christian McCaffrey behind me with an average offensive line than have an excellent offensive line with Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle. Oh my God. I think I'm with you on this one, Mike. I'd rather have the average offensive line and stellar players.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talent will go ahead and kind of combat what you're giving up on the offensive end as far as your defensive line goes.
Yeah.
You know, so
looking at the Tankathon's mock draft right now, they still have Shadir Sanders going number 1 overall at Tennessee, though most mock drafts right now have Cam Ward going 1. They have Travis Hunter going 3, Abdul Carter going 4 to the Patriots, Mason Graham, the defensive line stud, going to the Jaguars, cornerback Will Johnson going to the Raiders, Malachi Starks. Dude, Malachi Starks of Georgia, 6'1". This guy had 1 interception but had 77 tackles. He's considered to be, according to all the mock drafts that I've seen, the safest pick in the draft. But it's weird because I have some mock drafts out there getting him in the top 7. Others say that he's in the 2022 range. They're just basically saying he's going to be a good player. It's just whether or not he's going to be like an elite player.
Yeah.
That he'll be like an A- player for his career. But he's safe. Malachi Stark's going 7. They have the Saints, my Saints, going after Will Campbell from LSU. So do that 1-hour drive from Baton Rouge over to LSU, from LSU to the Superdome. I'd be okay with that because you need to keep a quarterback upright. Now, where it gets interesting for the Cowboys, though, because Cowboys are at 12. At number 10, you have the Chicago Bears. The Bears have a lot of quality players on the offensive side of the ball. Caleb Williams isn't as bad as people think that he is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things. I'm looking at the depth chart of the Bears this past season. I mean, they had at wide receiver DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. They had Rome. They had Cole Kmet. They have some pretty good wideouts out there. Running game, DeAndre Swift they got from Detroit. DeAndre Swift's a good running back, but he's always hurt. You add an Ashton Genty in there, all of a sudden, an Ashton Genty with a Mike McCarthy scenario. You might have something good in the makings there. And Bears fans that we know, like Rudy J and Carolina T, would be excited about it. The Cowboys need to move in to guarantee them this player. They'd have to move into the number 9 spot and entice the Saints to get that 9 pick. Entice Carolina to get that pick at number 8. I think getting him at number 8 probably makes sense.
Yeah.
But what's it going to cost? Probably a 4th rounder, 3rd rounder to move up. There's that point total. Have you seen those NFL point totals before? NFL draft, the point chart?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, so this is called a trade value chart. This is what NFL teams typically use to determine what point total to trade, right? So the Cowboys right now have the number 12 pick, which is worth 1,200 points. If they want to move up to the number 8 player, they have to go to Carolina, which is worth 1,400 points. That is 200 points right there, right? So what is 200 points? 200 points is right there. The number 76 pick in the draft, the third round. So if you want to move up 200 points, you have to give up 200 points. So they're saying that the 12 and the 76 pick are equivalent to the number 8 pick. So if the Cowboys want to move up to the top 8 or 9 players to get a Ashton Genty to guarantee that he's not going to go to Chicago, they need to give up a third rounder to make it happen. And a third rounder is a first day player, Joe. It's a first day player, but it guarantees that you would get that guy. Mario Cavazos saying get Abdul Carter from Penn State. Guy's a stud. Texans, according to Tankathon, would be in line to get Tyler Booker, offensive lineman from Bama. Hey, if they're from Bama, I'm all about it, right? A lot of Texas players going off the board. They have Kansas City going after another Texas guy. Remember last year they went after a Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
This year they're projected to go after offensive tackle Cameron Williams from Texas. Other players from UT, Kelvin Banks, the offensive tackle, projected to be top 10, possibly going to the Chicago Bears. No Quinn Ewers, though, who declared for the draft.
Yeah, man, it's going to be, you know what? The era of Arch Manning is now in play.
I heard a phrase yesterday for the first time ever, tank for Arch. Do you think that that's going to be a thing next year? And would Arch Manning come out for the NFL next year? Or is it going to be one of those things where he's going to...
I think the Manning family, they want to see him flourish.
He needs 2 seasons with Texas.
And
2 more seasons.
Exactly correct. I think they want to see him flourish, and they know that he's been biding his time. Now it's his time to shine. He's going to be able to showcase his skill set at a high level, right, in the collegiate level. And when he declares for the NFL draft, should I say, is he going to be one of these Heisman Trophy winners or just a candidate?
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that you're exactly right about that, because he needs to show success in big time games.
He does.
And he did fill in for Quinn Ewers for a few games when Ewers got hurt. He was using spot moments because of his legs. He's a modern day quarterback.
He can run.
He can run. He can throw. Smart player. But now it's his time to shine. And can he lead Texas to what Quinn Ewers did? I mean, because everyone, for all the Texas fans who gave Quinn Ewers crap, he got you to the semifinals, dude, of the national, one game away from the national championship.
Yeah.
That's a high bar to set. That's for Arch Manning to come in. If Arch Manning doesn't do that, is he really a top 5 pick?
It's tough for Texas because their season's always graded by, it doesn't matter how much success they had in the regular season or even in the playoffs. It's always going to be looked upon as a failure unless you win it all.
Right.
Which
is weird, because Texas isn't Texas isn't Alabama.
No.
Texas isn't Georgia.
It's just the expectation.
It's the expectation because of the money and the prestige of the school.
Exactly.
Our chat is powered by MCS General Contracting. Let's give them some love. They've been with us since day one.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
That's right, that Diamond Heart Concrete. You can give them a call. They can come by your home. They can actually give you a review as to how much it's going to cost. What I liked about what they did when they came to my house is that I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew that the side of my house was crap.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, here's the vision. Chris was like, here's the vision. Sidewalk right here. We add some steps to the landing. We do this and the other. It wasn't me saying, hey, I need to do this, that, and the other. They came up to me and said, this is what needs to be done. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how long it's going to take. Do you want to get it done or not? We'll do it right the first time. And they did. And when it started pouring rain, because I had all this ponding on the side of my house, this ponding that was there. And all of a sudden, they put together a sidewalk for me. It's put at an angle where the water goes away from my foundation. And that's what I needed. They did a fantastic job. 210-774-9155. Let's show me some love also. Here's my number, 210-508-0369. I am a financial advisor.
A fiduciary.
I'm independent. I'm a fiduciary, which means everything I do needs to be in the client's best interest. I've been blessed by those who watch this podcast because people have been reaching out to me about this. 210-508-0369. Investments, retirement planning. You have an old 401k, old IRA, need to consolidate them. Dude, I have a client that I met the other day. I had like 6 401ks from different companies. It's like, dude, just put them into one IRA, just make life a little bit easier. I'll go find them. I'll consolidate them for you. If you have an existing one and just don't like your advisor, don't trust your advisor, or want to have a second opinion, give me a call. 210-508-0369. Joe, I went last year to Jazz Fest in New Orleans.
Yeah. With Gabby, right?
With Gabby, dude, and also with my nephew Jacob. We went out there and had a fantastic time out there. And I don't know if you remember me telling you about Jazz Fest. Jazz Fest we saw the Foo Fighters out there.
Yeah. And
here's photos of me and my daughter and my nephew just outside. I'm wearing my New Orleans Saints shirt, and my Texican hat, just outside of Jazz Fest there in New Orleans. My daughter chowing down, getting some good food in us, right? It was great. This is the entrance to Jazz Fest. Got my LSU shirt on. We got rained on. It was good times, right? We stood in line for 4 hours to watch the Foo Fighters perform.
Jeez.
Now, here's the thing. It was so cheap. You want to go watch the Foo Fighters perform? It's expensive.
Yeah.
But you get there, these tickets were like maybe $50-$60. And here's who performed last year. You had the Foo Fighters. You had the Rolling Stones perform. You had Bruce Springsteen perform. I mean, it's amazing. So I'm there with my little girl, and we're enjoying some family time out there, right? Well, on my screen over here, this week, New Orleans Jazz Fest released its lineup for this year.
Yeah.
This takes place the weekend of April 24th and also the weekend of May 4th. Here are some of the artists that are performing. Pearl Jam, Dave Matthews Band, Luke Combs, Lil Wayne, Lenny Kravitz, Casey Musgraves, Carlos Santana, John Fogerty, Harry Connick Jr., Joan Jett, Trombone Shorty, Babyface.
Damn.
Branford Marsalis, the Wailers. Dude, this is a good lineup here, dude.
John Fogerty, Clearance Clear Rock.
CCR? Yeah. That is a great lineup there. And it's super cheap to go. And it's in New Orleans. And it's not in the French Quarter. It's not in any touristy area. It's actually at the racetrack there. It's their version of Retama Park. It is their horse racing area, which doesn't even do horse racing anymore. It's kind of like it's basically what used to be the horse racing venue there in New Orleans. It's inside of a neighborhood. And here's the thing, Joe. All the concerts are during the day.
Probably because it is inside of a neighborhood.
Because it's inside of a neighborhood. At 7:00, it's done. So it's talking about all the different acts that are there. Lil Wayne on the 24th, Lenny Kravitz on the 4th. Casey Musgraves, who I love, April 25th. Carlos Santana, May 1st. And then you have all the John Fogerty, the 24th. You have all the jazz acts that lead up to it, though. So people are like, well, what do you mean? These aren't jazz people. It's jazz all day long up until it comes time for the headliners, and then they bring in
the big guns.
Yeah. Laffy, Cage the Elephant, Haim, Bryson Tiller.
Cage the Elephant's one of my favorite bands, dude.
Really?
They play great live.
Harry Connick Jr. is amazing. He is jazz. Patti LaBelle is performing. Go see a legend. Pearl Jam, May 3rd.
Pearl Jam has a new album they just released recently. And Lenny Kravitz has a new album he just released recently as well. Mm-hmm. He has some bangers on that album, dude.
Look at this. For a weekday pass, $300.
Not bad for all those bands.
And that's 4 days of concerts. That's basically $80 a day, right? If you get somebody from Louisiana to buy them for you, it's $290, Joe. Mario Cavazza says Fiesta Oyster Bake is April 25th through the 26th. You need to show her your 1-0 record at Oyster Bake. That's funny, dude.
This is the spot that it happened at.
That's funny.
You know damn well she ain't gonna be wanting to go to no Oyster Bake, dude. Come on.
Dude, I saw the Houston Rodeo lineup, and I usually get all embarrassed because, the San Antonio Rodeo, which takes place in February, has decent acts that perform over there, right? And then I saw the
San Antonio.
I saw the Houston one, and I thought to myself, "Oh, they're gonna be amazing, dude." The Houston Cup Rodeo sucks just as bad as the San Antonio one. Reba McEntire, Riley Green, Air. It's just like I saw the list of people. I'm like, wait, John Party, Lauren Daigle, Brad Paisley,
who?
Journey.
That ain't Journey, bro.
Grupo Frontera.
That's not Journey. They got that Asian guy singing. As far as the
lead Filipino
singer, yeah, he's a good singer and all, but it's not the OG.
Grupo Frontera is going to perform on March 16th.
I know you're going for that.
We get Nelly. They get Post Malone. Cody Jinks, Old Dominion, Brooks and Dunn, Luke Bryan. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah.
Houston usually gets like Carrie Underwood, George Strait, Garth Brooks. They get like the big names in country. The Keith Urban. We got Keith Urban this year. They didn't.
Gosh.
I'm just saying that their rodeo lineup sucks just as bad as ours does.
It's not any better.
Who is ours? I mean, we have who is our rock one? Because we have it's who do we have here? Let me look it up. The rodeo concerts here, which get going February 6th. Scotty McCreery from American Idol fame gets things going. Keith Urban on the 8th. We have the Bellamy brothers. We have John Party as well. Eli Young Band. They're pretty good. Mark Chestnut, Tyler Hubbard. I mean, Turnpike Troubadours, Zach Top.
Yeah.
Joe Nichols, Whiskey Myers. We have Diamond Rio.
Diamond Rio, bro.
We have Sammy Hagar.
Blast from the past.
I told this to my girlfriend. She said it was sacrilegious, and I'll bring it up again. I saw a concert of George Strait in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena, right behind what used to be the Monte Carlo.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
Dwight Yoakam opened up for him.
Yeah.
Okay, Dwight Yoakam, guitars and Cadillacs, 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. He has some hits.
Yeah, he does.
I enjoyed Dwight Yoakam's concert performance more than I did George's. And I don't blame George Strait because George Strait's a legend, and the George Strait has 5-6 dozen hits.
The venue
sucked for him. They did him no favors by putting him in a round because like Dwight Yoakam just performed.
Yeah.
They were moving George Strait around. 3/4 of the show, I just saw his ass. Because he went from corner to corner to corner to corner to corner. It's like, yay, 2 songs where I can see his face. And now I see his ear and I see the back of his ass and all that stuff, right? It was just a bad venue. If I had seen him perform at the Frost Bank Center, Frost Bank, if I had seen him perform at, any venue like the Majestic or whatever, it would have been amazing. It wasn't that the performance sucked. It was that the venue sucked for him. But I was surprised at how good Dwight Yoakam was. And he's performing at the San Antonio Rodeo on February 22nd at 7:30 p.m. He's so good. Dwight Yoakam's one of those guys where it's like, you'll be like, I guess I'll go to that concert. And you'll show up and you'll be like, damn, he's a badass. How old is Dwight Yoakam? He's got to be 70, man.
No, he's up there in age, dude. I mean, hell, Mick Jagger can still do it. Why not?
68 years old. 68 years old. Is Flaco Jimenez out of the hospital yet? Hear about that?
No.
He performed with the Texas Tornadoes back in the day. Flaco Jimenez was hospitalized this week.
Yeah, they haven't really said it, like given an update on him.
So a few days ago, Fox San Antonio, Ken's 5, and KSAT and WOAI were reporting that Flaco Jimenez was hospitalized, according to the singer's Facebook page. And they made it sound as though he was going to get better. But I don't know, man. When you're that old, you never know what's going to happen. Let's talk some Spurs on the other side. Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. You're on Locked On Spurs tomorrow. I was on earlier this week. Let's give some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Hey, more than 5,000 subscribers can't be wrong. Locked On Spurs, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Ken's 5 at Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter and Threads. We'll talk about that in a second. But here's the thing. We had a comment here from, I want to say it was Mario Cavazos, asking the question, what rock band would have to go to Oyster Bake in order for you to make a presence just to watch that band? I'm going to say a band that they could get.
Grupo Más.
Oh, no, man.
Come
on. Going for any of that crap. I danced the Hunnel one time.
Come on. You want to hear some Ram?
Oh, dude, all of that. Just no, man.
Wear the pointed boots?
No. You see, they have the rock, they have the rock concerts that they have over there. Who do they have here this year? Let me see here. Oyster Bake concert lineup, right?
Who is it?
I remember going back in the day, they had Army of Anyone, which was basically the band Filter. You know, they had missing some people. They had some people missing. They have a let's see here. They've got Kevin Fowler's performing over there. This is a name I remember. They have a Journey tribute. They have a AC/DC tribute. The Spasmatics.
Dude, the Spasmatics play at like every major event, dude.
Check this out. I did not realize that Collective Soul's performing there.
Hey, that might not be a bad thing, dude.
Collective Soul. Okay, real quick. I'm glad that we brought this up. Thank you so much for bringing this up to everybody. I'm looking at all the different performers out there. Hinder's performing out there. Aren't they the ones that sing "From the Lips of an Angel"?
Yeah, dude. They're one hit wonder.
Yeah. So here's the thing about Collective Soul. The greatest concert moment I've ever been in involved Collective Soul.
Hey, man, they can actually play their own instruments, and the brother can sing.
Back in the mid-90s, 97 or so, I went to the Blockbuster Music, concert at the Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth. My friends and I jammed into a car. We were in college at the time, probably a freshman in college.
Yeah.
We drove out there. We drank up a storm. We went to go see the performances, right? Keep in mind, this is around 97, right? So the acts were Bush, No Doubt, Third Eye Blind, Matchbox 20, Collective Soul. It was Jewel, it was Paulo Cole, Presidents of the United States of America, the Toadies.
Damn, that's a lot of great bands, dude.
It was just all repeatedly. And it wasn't one of those things where they had all these different stages. It was just one big stage. My friends and I made our way up to the front. It was a free concert, okay? There was like 150,000 people there. It was crazy. And I got to the very, very front. I maneuvered my way. I was dehydrated and drunk off my ass. But I made my way up to the very front, and I saw Collective Soul perform. And Collective Soul had some really good songs like Shine, December, some really good songs. But so Shine, yeah. So I remember watching that concert, and I'm so close to the front, and the whole crowd's getting into the whole, I'm going to let it shine. I'm going to let it shine. And he ends the song, and the crowd keeps chanting the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I just remember him looking over to the band going, let's do it again. I'm going to let it shine. I'm going to let it shine. And they did the last 45 seconds to a minute of the song, and the crowd kept cheering it out, kept going, like they wanted to hear the chorus again. So he kept on doing the chorus over and over and over again just to appease the crowd. And I remember him looking out going, I cannot believe there's so many people here.
Yeah.
He goes, there's so many people here. It was a shining moment for him as an artist. And I remember that as a 20-year-old in the stands. I'm not going to say that Collective Soul is like my favorite band of all time or anything like that. But Collective Soul does have some good songs down there that I remembered. Where the River Flows is a great song. Shine is a great song. The World I Know. They weren't a one-hit wonder. They've got 4 or 5 songs where people are going to be like, oh, I didn't remember that was them. So to answer the question about what band would have to go out there, it had to be a gettable band, okay? Pearl Jam ain't playing Fiesta Oyster Bake.
Yeah, Sam Salinas says you're looking at last year.
Oh, I'm looking at last year's lineup. Oh, that's brutal, man. I was getting all excited about that. Just shows you how often I go to Oyster Bake, man.
They haven't announced it yet because they haven't even really said anything about Fiesta. They're going to officially start saying, releasing news and updates about what's going to be happening at the events here soon.
Well, that was a good get for them last year then, man. That was why is it taking so long to make it? What, the Spasmatics busy? Did you know that the Spasmatics are there's like 15 versions of the Spasmatics?
No.
The Spasmatics aren't the Spasmatics. The Spasmatics are a concept. And you have 10 or 15 different versions of them all over the country, Joe. So when you hear the Spasmatics are playing in Vegas, it's not the same 4 dudes that showed up at the, La Villita. Okay?
Locked on Spurs, slippery finger.
It's not the same 4 dudes.
Yeah.
There's like 4 dorky dudes in Nashville, 4 dorky dudes in Charlotte, 4 dorky dudes all over the place. That's what the Spasmatics are. They are a concept band.
So they can just kind of have the talent kind of just come out, whoever it would be.
Yeah. So very, very cool. So what band would have to go out there? I almost, and I'm not going to say that they're the greatest band of all time, though Motorcycle Drive-By is one of my favorite songs. I would show up to watch Third Eye Blind.
Third Eye Blind's not bad.
I mean, they're not the manliest band of all time, but a lot of their deep cuts are really good. I would say this about Third Eye Blind. You listen to their first album, right? Semi-Charmed Kind of Life, and Jumper. I wish you would step off that ledge, my friend. All that stuff. And those are cute songs. The songs that they didn't release are so much better than the hits.
The B-sides.
The B-sides are so much better. Matchbox 20 is the same way too. The 3 a.m. push, all that stuff. Fine, great. Go listen to songs called like Hang and Cody and songs like that. Those are the better songs. And I was thinking about this. I posted the other day, and this is kind of a pop culture reference. I can't believe it's almost been 10 years since Scott Weiland died.
Yeah.
Growing up, Stone Temple Pilots was my favorite band. Like from age 19 to 26, 50% of my music intake was probably STP. Loved it. Core, Purple, Tiny Music, 4, Shangri-La Di Da. I loved all 5 albums. I loved their set that they had on Unplugged, all that stuff. When Scott Weiland died 9 years ago, that was one of the musicians that hurt me the most. I know Chester Bennington had died, and Lane Staley had died, and Chris Cornell had died, and the dude from Blind Melon, and the Shannon Hoon. All of that didn't really affect me, but when Scott Weiland died, it felt like a part of my childhood died, and I had a hard time going back and listening to STP, Joe, for so long.
Yeah.
And I went back the other day and I said, okay, Michael, concerted effort. Let's listen to STP again. And I was driving to go see Chica Francesca over in Conroe, and I turned on some STP, and I decided that I wanted to listen to all the different albums, and I went through them all. Joe, I'm gonna tell you what I think is one of their best albums.
Yeah.
No one's ever listened to it, man. Shangri-La Di Da, which is their last studio album. And I went back and I listened to I read back and read articles from Eric Kretz, who's the drummer, Dean DeLio, and who's the bassist. They said in interviews that was the best time of their life, was recording that album.
Yeah.
That it was the first time that they had an album recorded where not only were they in a studio, but it was the first time they had brought their families to the studio. And if you're an STP fan, or if you just remember a handful of their songs, there's a couple of songs I want you guys to listen up to from Shangri-La Da, because there's 3 songs on there that I think are amazing. Hello, It's Late.
Yeah.
The 7th track on their song, on that album. 7th track called Hello, It's Late. It channels the Beatles. They say that that's exactly what they were going for. It's not they're trying to mimic the Beatles. They're like, yeah. This is us doing the Beatles. Like if we were pretending to be the Beatles singing our songs, it'd be Hello, It's Late.
Yeah, we're kind of showing songs from the album.
Wonderful. It's a ballad. Great song. And he has a song that was a song for his son called "A Song for Sleeping," which is it's what is it called? It's a song to get someone to go sleep. It's like a melody to get them to go fall asleep. That's a good song. "Dumb Love" is a great song.
Yeah.
Days "Hollywood Bitch" is a great song. "Coma" is a good song. "Long Way Home to End It."
Yeah,
it's a good songs, dude. It's not the most popular album. It's probably the least popular of them all. It was released back in 2001. But it's quality, dude. You know what this showed?
Oh.
Core was like, like Lelouch in Bull Durham, announce our presence with authority, sex type thing. Wicked Garden, Plush, we're here, right? Then they went off and did Purple, Interstate Love Song. They did stuff like that was more of a hey, we can groove, right?
Yeah.
Then they did, Songs from the Vatican Gift Shop, which was more of a psychedelic,
So are we doing this?
And then they went and did 4, which was We're Back. After he got out of jail.
Yeah.
Shangri-La Da though was showing that they're actually musicians. It's a good album, dude. Oh, Sam Selena saying STP's cover of Led Zeppelin's "Dancing Days" is fire. That's a great cover. I'm not gonna say it's as good as Led Zeppelin's, but it is top tier when it comes to a cover.
So this is what Mario Cavazos says. Hey, Mike, if you sing some STP next Saturday, I'll go to watch you perform.
Name the song.
You know what? I'll tell Mario Cavazos, man. If you want to go ahead and sing some STP, I'll go on the stage with you. We're going to go ahead and sing some Plush. Acoustic. The acoustic version of Plush.
From much depends on the weather.
MTV Unplugged.
Okay, if you're going to do the MTV Unplugged version, it would actually be Creep.
Oh, okay.
Because forward yesterday.
I like
but
it.
It's so deep, right? But what I like about the unplugged version of Creep is that instead of him going, think you're kind of neat, then you tell me I'm a creep.
Yeah.
He sings it high. He goes, you know what? I know that we can only play a few seconds of it.
Yeah.
Let me get that part here, dude. This is what gets me turned on about STP.
To Vaseline. They want you to sing
Flies
Vaseline.
in the Vaseline we are. Sometimes it blows my mind. Keep getting stuck here all the time.
I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll. There we go.
Right here.
Yeah, that's about all we got.
Yeah, so what I like about that is in the actual album and what we heard on the radio was him singing that in a lower register.
Yeah.
But on Unplugged, he went upwards. And I remember hearing that the first time. Even to this day, that's my favorite version of the song. And I tried singing it that way at karaoke, but because the music is different, because they changed the music on here to kind of match the upswing. Jimenez sing the Sandra version of Creep. Okay, she sings the other Creep song. Okay, shut up, Sandra. What's that other Creep? Okay, so stories time. My friends, they sang the Radiohead version.
No.
I went to karaoke one time where we all sang the same song title. So a friend sang Creep by Radiohead, I sang Creep by STP, and someone sang Creep by TLC.
God.
And then we went and sang songs called Jump.
Yeah.
I sang Jump by Van Halen. Someone sang Jump by House of Pain, and someone's like jumped by the Pointer Sisters.
Oh my god!
And people didn't notice what we were doing until the end of the night. They're like, "Wait a minute! All three of y'all are just singing the same title of a song."
Yeah.
That's how you know you karaoke a lot. Is when back in the day, is that when you can come up with certain concepts like that. But yeah, so Sandra on Superstore sings it with a ukulele.
God, go up there with the little ding 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 ding.
Yeah. But in Superstore, she says, I don't belong here. But when she gets married in the movie, in the show, she sings with her husband, "We do belong here." She changes the lyric.
God.
Good show.
Yeah, we got to figure out what we're going to be singing on Saturday. I don't know if I'll be singing up there on the stage. Maybe I'll get some liquid courage in me.
Oh, dude, it's called the Goldilocks Zone. You can't be drunk, but you can't be sober.
Just got to be
You got to be like in the I don't give a F mode.
relaxed.
So it's funny because when I go karaoke at Who's Who,
Yeah.
that is a karaoke bar, much like Tin Tavern's a karaoke bar, right? But what's cool about it is that there's sometimes when they do what's called karaoke roulette.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you're singing. And you give them a genre. And I one time went up to them and I said 90s rock. And they had Shine by Collective Soul. I had never done a Collective Soul song before in my life.
That's a hard one to sing.
Dude, I suck at singing, dude. I can carry a tune. I don't suck at karaoke, but I'm not good at it. I just don't suck. I'm like, all right. Yeah, I'm the Mike McCarthy of karaoke. Okay, not elite, not good. Just I'm north of I.
Yeah,
I'm better than I. I'm just not good.
Are we gonna be giving away a karaoke trophy to the best performer?
Hey, I've won money 3 times, Joe. I've won money 3 times. Karaoke.
God.
So when I did the whole roulette thing, I did 90s rock. They did Shine. I had never done that song before, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Why follow me to higher ground, lost as you swear I am." I did it better because I had liquid courage, and I'm not sick the way I am right now. It's so much fun, dude. So next Saturday night, that'll be over at the Hidden Tavern on West Avenue. That's kind of going out in the direction of the Thirsty Horse. It's not, if you're going from 410, it's not as far as the Thirsty Horse, but it's in that vicinity. It's about a mile away from the Thirsty Horse.
The Castle Hills area.
Yeah. Excited about it, Joe. Dude, we made it to an hour 33, man. So much for an hour 15.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone hit the like button the way out, dude. You guys are sucking ass when it comes to that, dude. Come on, help us out. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Mexican Jir saying crisscross jump. I would need a second person to go up. Am I the Mac Daddy or am I the Daddy Mac?
You gonna wear your pants backwards?
That was a thing for a little while, right? Can you imagine how much money that group would be making right now if that one guy hadn't died?
Yeah, the one kid. Yeah.
What did he die of?
I don't remember, dude.
Was it drugs?
I don't remember. I don't remember what it was. Just like Milli Vanilli. Hey, maybe one of y'all should sing Milli Vanilli.
Okay.
Blame it on the rain.
Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love you.
Can you imagine?
Blame it on the stars that shine that night.
Dude, I'd be laughing my ass off. Can you imagine singing that, Chica, in front of Chica?
Oh, I know, dude. I miss Chica, dude. Chica's been sick this week.
Oh, no.
101 fever. I see her every weekend. She's refusing to FaceTime.
Oh, she got the crud.
She's got the mocoso.
Yeah, you know what? You were making me laugh because I have a friend of mine, and you were just saying, you got to be in that Goldilocks zone when you go up there and sing, and you're like, I don't give a F, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my friend, she says this shit and makes me laugh because there'll be times where she's like, you know what? I don't give a the way she says it.
Yeah.
That shit makes me laugh, and that's what reminded me of. Like, you have to get in that mindset where you really don't give a,
no embarrassment. But here's the thing about karaoke: know the words to the song. Okay, don't show up there going, oh my God, the girls that go up there and sing "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," that's fine. Cyndi Lauper, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you only know the chorus,
The girls want to have fun.
the girls just want to have fun. If you're gonna sing that part, great. But the fact of the matter is that you're gonna miss the part where she's coming on, The phone rings in the morning. My mother says, when you gonna live your life right? Oh, mother dear, we're not the fortunate ones. If you don't know that part of the song, don't sing. Because it's more than just the chorus. Oh my God, when they have 12 girls go up on the stage at one time, that sucks.
Who's gonna sing in Snow? That Informer by Snow.
A licky boom boom down. Oh, Mike sings R. Kelly. Should that be a thing, Joe? Should we pick a song? Should we have like a vote as a song? It has no, we're not gonna do like a I'm not gonna sing Britney or any female song.
I wanna make love in the club.
I wanna make love in the club with a bowl of cherries.
Oh man, no. You do that, Chica's gonna say I'm out. She's gonna leave, dude.
Oh my gosh.
God, dude. You're gonna be singing I Believe I Can Fly.
Nice. Mexican Junior saying I need to sing some Right Said Fred. That's the easiest song to sing because it's a low. I'm too sexy for my car. Too sexy for my car. Too sexy by far.
You should just have the
And I'm too sexy for this land. Too sexy for this land. New York and Japan. I'm a model, if you know what I mean. And I do my little turn on the catwalk.
Look at
on
this.
On the catwalk, yeah.
Sam
I shake
Salinas.
my little tush on the catwalk.
Look at Sam Salinas says, I'm trying to go, and if I do, I've got R. Kelly down low. Live to Regret It mixed. The remix version is fire.
Nobody's got to know. Keep it on the down low. Love it. That's a great song.
You got a challenge here. Look at Tony Ornelas. Wow, I need to go to this karaoke event. I'm a much better singer than
I don't
Mike.
doubt it. I don't doubt it. I'm just Joe.
Look at Joe can out sing Mike for sure. I don't know.
Joe, gun to head, you had to pick a song, a genre of song.
Oh, I don't know, man. To me, I like rock, right? But I also like the acoustic sets of said songs because it gives you an opportunity to see if you got the
They might
chops.
not have that though.
I know, but I'm just saying that's what I like. You know, if I really like a song and I want to sing it at karaoke, I'll go ahead and get the acoustic version and I'll just take out the song, the singing. Right?
You want to do the STP. Think you're kind of neat.
Nah, man, I ain't gonna do that.
She tells me
I'm gonna be that. Or maybe you know what I do like? I like that song Zephyr from
Fly away on my Zephyr. I need you more than ever.
Yeah, man.
And in this perfect weather,
it sounds good
we'll
acoustic when you do it just acoustic.
Together, fly on my.
Yeah.
It's a good song, dude.
It's a good song.
You know, but then you have to do the rap part.
That's the thing.
You know, because that's the chorus, right?
Yeah, that's part of it.
You know, it's kind of like doing "By the Way" by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
By the way,
you know, standing in line between the shows tonight, and there's a light on, heavy glow. By the way, you know, everyone knows that part, but everyone doesn't know the stick knife, con chop, boot cut.
Look at that, man. They're saying Joe should do Petty Royalty Nirvana.
No.
No, bro, I'm good.
Chris Gonzalez, a good question. Did you sing your most liked song or a crowd involvement? You see, my girlfriend Francesca is all about the crowd involvement. She wants to sing a song that everyone else is going to know. So I told her the other day, I sang Nobody by Keith Sweat when we were at that resort in Barbados. I thought about it. The only better song I could have done would have been Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe.
Poison.
Because everybody knows that song, right?
You need somebody to go up there with you so they could just go Poison. Poison.
Looking for a mellow fellow like DeVoe getting paid. Lazy. You better lay low. Yeah, there you go. I don't think my voice could do the end part. That
was it Boys to Men? Do some Boys to
Tony's
Men.
saying the subscribers are now down to 1,998 since I could see.
Oh, we'll have to bring some Rotten Tomatoes so they could throw it Mike on stage.
Nice.
$10.
$10.
$10 for Rotten Tomatoes.
That's funny, man.
Jeff will be, I'll take the lot.
All right, fellas, we're gonna call it a day. Got to get to work tomorrow. I might do the show remotely, or we might have to ask Fernandez to jump on or whatnot.
What's tomorrow? Friday.
I actually I have family who has homes like what's it called, rentals and Airbnb in Houston. they're expecting 3 inches of snow.
Jeez.
Over there. We're expecting flurries and whatnot over here. They're expecting 3 like accumulation over there. I've been asked to go cover pipes and go drip faucets and all that stuff. So I might have to go do that.
Yeah.
Mario Cavazzo says that I have a voice of an angel. Mm-hmm. Sam Salinas with the sage advice that Bill DeVoe gave us back in 1990. You never trust a big butt and a smile.
Yeah, are we going to allow recording of said performances?
Sure, why not?
It's going to be all over the X, Mike.
If someone tried to videotape me, like Bill DeVoe saying, I'd say, if I were you, I'd take precaution.
Oh, my God, dude. And you're not even drunk. You haven't had a drop of liquor yet.
I know. Hey, Macarena, I don't even know what they're singing, dude. It's just blah, 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 blah. Like the Macarena and Snow's Informer is the same to me. It's just all gibberish. Tony says if we have Fernandez on tomorrow, there'll be no Sohan talk. Jason said it's moist out there in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, it is.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You know what? What's so funny? Talk about crowd involvement. You saw that video of me doing Bobby Brown's Every Little Step that one time I did in New York, right? I don't know if this is a tall tale or not, but there was a country karaoke bar on Broadway here in San Antonio. So if you're driving like from like North Star to the airport, you go to Broadway, take a left, and you go down about 3 miles. It's on the right-hand side, maybe 2 miles. It's on the right-hand side. There's a country bar there, and they had karaoke night.
Okay.
And I went there years ago, probably 15 years ago with my cousins. And then my cousins were visiting from LA. They brought their spouses and whatnot. And it was just a country bar, and people would go up there and sing nothing but country music, and you'd have a couple of couples go out there on the dance floor and sing. I mean, and dance, right? And you had a stage, and you had a dance floor. The dance floor was probably the size of this garage, Joe, maybe a little bit bigger. End of the night, it's 1:30 in the morning. I've been having bull blasters, but I was in the Goldilocks zone. I was in the I don't give a F type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Probably my proudest moment ever in karaoke. I sang Humpty Dance by Digital Underground.
Jesus, bro.
And I went for it, Joe.
No.
I went for it. And I got off the stage onto the dance floor because as I started singing that song, people got excited because they wanted to dance at the end of the night. Joe, the whole bar ran to the dance floor to party along and sing along to the song.
Yeah.
And my cousins who were sitting down at a table, a high top table down the way, are looking at me going, like giving me like a what the hell just happened type of thing. They're laughing at me. Proud moment there, man. I had about 15 people, 15 couples or so dancing on the stage.
But you know what? Fun. Things might get crazy. And if you really want to impress somebody, Mike, you got to go ahead and sing Lean Like a Cholo.
Oh, is that? Oh no, I'm thinking of Fat Joe. I'm thinking of Lean Back.
Either that, or you could go ahead and do some Hammer Time, man.
Unless you're doing the dance, you can't just sing the song and not do the dance. That's like singing an Usher song without giving out the cherries.
Oh man, I can only imagine you trying to do that dance and sing.
Oh no, I could never do that dance. 47-year-old Michael can't do that. 27-year-old Michael couldn't do that.
It's Hammer Time, Mike.
Dude, when I was in Barbados with Francesca last month, there was this old white man. I think old white man, probably late 50s, early 60s. He sang "Lose Yourself" by Eminem.
Jeez.
And he was good. He knew every word. Didn't need the screen. Didn't need nothing. And he was rapping to the crowd. Old white man who looked like he was a CPA.
Jeez.
He loved him some Eminem.
I'm gonna give mad respect, man. If somebody goes up there that's our age,
yeah,
and they start singing some Mexican OT.
I don't even know what the hell that is. Who the hell's Mexican OT?
If you know, Mike. You got to look him up, dude. My nephew was the one that turned me on to this shit. This shit's pretty funny, dude.
The one obscure rap song that I did one time was I did Mellow Man Ace Mentirosa.
Mentirosa.
Today you told me something, y mañana otra cosa.
Oh, dude. No.
Don't be calling me no skeezer. Remember that part of the song?
I remember that, dude. That Mexican OT, he's a Mexican rapper, right? And he does gritos in his songs and shit. And one of the videos that he has, there's doing the grito, right? It's in the song when it's, coming on. And then he has a chicken or a rooster like that in the video the whole time.
Yeah.
This shit's funny, dude.
Dude, if you're going to be talking about like what bands would I want to go see at Oyster Bake that would take me out there, I was showing my girlfriend and her brother the other day Metalachi.
Yeah.
The heavy metal mariachi group that comes to San Antonio a lot. I'd go check them out.
There you go.
Chris is saying if Jeff goes, he's got to sing, "Here comes the money, money, money,
Do
money,
the
money,
little
money."
dance. Do the Shane O'Mac dance too.
Dollar, 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 dollar. Everybody have a fantastic day. We did an hour 45 today, Joe.
We did.
All right, man. I got to get back to work. Everyone have a fantastic day. We're just 9 days away from the party. We'll be back tomorrow with the Area 210 podcast. Everyone have a fantastic day. Hit the like button on the way out. Y'all take care.